Hey guys, I am back and I've been working this morning. I've already had a good morning. I got up and got some work done on Congregation Hub and also got a good run in. I don't have a ton of time today because I've got to finish preparing a message for the Bible study tonight at the church, and I've got to make some visits. But I got about an hour, and so I thought I would stream for an hour and try to get some more stuff done, kind of explain thinking, things that I've sort of thought through this morning. So I want to go to my handy dandy tool here, and I'm going to go back to this adding people and users, and I am going to zoom in to this user story map here. Hide the sidebar. Of course, that just broke the. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so this is what happens when somebody signs up for Congregation Hub. Okay, so the first thing they do is one user, the pastor or somebody, is going to register for an account. Okay, that is this screen. Okay, it is done and looks fairly good. All right, that's the first step. And behind the scenes, the system, when they sign up, creates a church in the database, sets up the church time zone. I don't have this one done yet, but it's something that I've thought might need to be done in the future because of the project management stuff that goes on here. All right, creates a user. So the person creates a church and creates a user for this person, and then sends them their login email. Okay, so all of this here, this excluded, is done. So what has to happen next? Well, they get the email, they click on the email, and right now it's redirecting to this. Here, I'll just log in. It's redirecting to this this main page here, this home page, the feed, and that's probably what we want to happen typically. That's what we want to happen when the user is normally logging in. But when it's the first time that they log in, we want to give them a welcome, okay? And crucially, what we need to do is we need to get them to add people. Okay, so this type of app, this sort of church management app, has a problem. And the problem is what's known in the software industry as network effects, right? So in order for it to be useful, there has to be other people on there. There has to be people that are using it. And in the case of church management software, you also have to have a list of your people in the software for it to have any point whatsoever. Imagine Facebook or Twitter if you were the only user, right? Like, this is the problem that lots of apps have. It's like, in order for them to be useful, you have to get people on there to get it off the ground. And so we're going to run into that same problem. I'm going to run into that same problem with Congregation Hub. And the way that we solve that is by immediately getting the church, the user, the admin, the first time they log in, to add people. And this is what I've been thinking about this morning. And so here is the problem. The problem is Congregation Hub really requires having people added before it's useful. Okay, and I've looked at some different things this morning, different options for how to handle this. So the first article that I found is on Smashing Magazine here, and let's see if I can. Okay, Smashing Magazine is a magazine I've read for like 20 years, I think. It's like just a web development app magazine, user experience design magazine. When I say magazine, it's a website. But I've been reading this for years, and they have a whole article here about this problem, about how you import things at the very beginning, what you have to think through. And one of the things that it mentioned here is this flat file, okay? And so I'm looking at this, I'm like, this looks really good. This would be awesome, something like this, flat file. There's a bunch of other things. So here's what has to happen. What has to happen is 90% of the time what needs to happen is they need to upload a CSV, a comma separated value. This is something that you could export from another tool. You could export it from Planning Center or Breeze or Elvanto or any of the other tools that exist where you might already have your people stored. Or you could export it from Airtable or from Microsoft Excel or from Google Sheets if you have it in a spreadsheet. Super common. It's kind of like a table, super common file type, okay? So what do we got to do? We have to find a way to import that, but it's not just a matter of importing it. When you import it, we don't have any control over what that CSV looks like, what that data looks like. There's probably all kinds of issues with the data that it doesn't match up with the database where these things need to go, okay? And so what we have to do is we have to figure out a way to map the columns in the CSV to the columns in the database, and we have to figure out a way to do this really well. And so I think I don't want to build that. One of my rules for Congregation Hub is that I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can myself from scratch, trying to do as little fancy JavaScript stuff as possible, as little magic as possible. But I have built CSV importers in the past, and they always were kind of clunky. There's ones that I could use that rely on Laravel Livewire, which I love Laravel Livewire, but Laravel Livewire doesn't play well with Turbo, which is something I'm using in this site, and that's going to be important later on when we get to making a native app. And so I can't use those, and those weren't fantastic. And so I'm really kind of thinking about using this flat file. And I've taken a look at this. It looks really, really good. I've looked at the pricing here. And so the pricing was a little bit, here, I'll pull this up. So the way flat file works is it's just a tool that you can drop into your system that allows you to pull in this data. The fastest way to collect and onboard and migrate data uses AI. It's just a beautifully well-designed system. They've really, really worked on this one thing. There's no way I could build this, okay? And if you look at the pricing is kind of interesting. I'm going to be using this portal, and under the starter plan, okay, it says data usage at $2 a file. So every time somebody imports, it's going to cost me $2. And $2.50 per million, basically, data rows that are pulled in, okay? So I think that's process data values. Okay, cells. So it's not rows, it's individual cells, but still. Okay, here's the deal. 50 files per month, free. That's 50 churches signing up per month, free. And I think if I have more than 50 churches signing up, then this is probably a good problem to have. Having to pay for this is probably a good problem to have. That's a dream scenario for me. Okay, so I think I am going to go ahead and use this flat file. I think this is the way for me to go. And so I got to figure out how to do that. Now let me go back to my thing here and talk about, so we're going to use this flat file. I've got a demo here that I'm watching. This is the pricing table there. Okay, so how do we get people to import their users when they start the program? So what I want to do is I'm going to redirect to this page here. And I just kind of sketched this page out. And this is basically from here down is flat file. This is going to be the flat file's responsibility. I just drop that into the page. Flat file takes, and I tell them what the data needs to look like. Flat file takes care of that and then gives me back clean data. That's how flat files work. And I thought that it would be kind of cute to have it drop in and say this app is pointless without people, you know, like we need you to import people to make this work. And then they can either upload a CSV file or the beautiful thing about flat files, it doesn't have to be a CSV file. It can also be It can be Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets or just about anything. You can tie it to existing tools. It works really well. And then it's going to automatically figure out, like with AI, how those columns match. And it's going to show them, hey, does this look right to you? And then things that are like set things, like for instance, I'm going to have months for birthdays, months and day column. Okay. Those need to match a certain thing. It's going to be able to make figuring that out much, much easier. There's ways that you can do it. It's just beautifully, really cool program. Afterwards, it's going to send me that data. I can import that data into the database, and we're off to the races. We're ready to go. Okay. One other thing that I have been thinking about this morning is differentiating between people and users. Now, this is one of the reasons why I have switched to using email only as the sign-in, where you get emailed a link. Okay, one of them is because you've got validation built in, so you don't get as many junk accounts that are signing up, junk churches that are signing up. But with this, I'm really thinking about killing the people model altogether and just using the user model for people. And the required fields in the people model would just be first name and last name. But if there is an email, and it actually is a working email, then those people will immediately get a, hey, welcome to Congregation Hub for Bible Baptist Church email. Click this link to sign in. And then those people automatically become users. And anytime that they want to, they can just go to the website, log in, put in their email, and it's going to allow them to see the church stuff. Okay, and then the admins will be able to decide what access each person has, and that's going to be something that's part of this import process. They're going to be able to say, okay, this person and this person and this person can be admins. You know, these people don't need an invite, that kind of stuff. So this is the next thing that I need to build to make the app really work. And the beauty of it is, I think this is going to be fairly straightforward. So this is the part of this stream where I stop talking and start coding. So I don't know if that's interesting to the 0 people that are watching right now, but let's do that. All right. So. So I need to go to my registration controller. So in resources, app, controllers, HTTP controllers, register controller. Okay, so in this, we're getting the slug, church settings, appearance, create. This is actually not going to help me because we're just sending a login email, just a regular login email. I guess I could copy this verification email and have it send a link to a different. I don't know if that's going to work though, because I'm not sure how the login. I need to look at the login controller. So that's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at login. This is buffers. Here, you know what? I'm going to quit this version of Vim and open it just so that I clear my buffers. Register controller. We're going to open that, and then I'm going to open the login controller. Okay, so this login validates the email, sets the user, throws an exception if there is no email, sets a token, sends this redirect mail to user email, send new verification email. A login link has been sent to your email address. So how does this work? This is not what I'm looking for. All right, I need to just look here at my mail verification email. So this is sending a link, emails verify. So now I got to go to resources, emails, verify, and it's the verify route. So this is like fun stuff right here. So I'm gonna go to my routes. It's probably in the auth. Okay, here we go. Verify token. So I have a verification controller. So verification controller. So this is email user verified save, auth login. We're logging in the user, deleting the token, and then redirecting to post index. So this is what we need to change. So if it is a maybe I just need to set this in the controller on that index file. No. All right, so let's do this. Let's say this. If the user church people count is less than 2, then we're going to redirect to a different route. Return, redirect, route, and we're going to say the route will be, we'll call it settings dot import. No, let's create a new, we'll call it onboarding import with, and I'll just copy all this stuff here. Okay, so now I need to create a route called onboarding import. And I'm going to create probably several of these onboarding routes. So I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know what that was all about. I'm going to go ahead and go to my routes folder here, and I am going to duplicate this auth.php. So, and I'm going to call this onboarding.php. Go inside here. I do not need these controllers. I'll keep one route just as an example here. And it's blowing up because there's no register controller. That's fine. Let's make a controller called the onboarding controller. Here, I'm going to make controller. I probably want a whole folder, so I'm going to say onboarding. Call it add users controller. Yeah. Okay. So we now have that. And here I can say, what just happened? I wasn't in insert mode. use add users controller. Okay, and we're going to call this one route get onboarding add users controller class. All right, and then the name of that file was in my verification controller. Right, it was onboarding.import. So I'm actually going to say, I'm going to change this to import. All right, and let's test this out to see if this is working. So what should happen, phone call here. Let me pause this for just a second while I take a phone call. Hey, hon.
Hey, I need your signature on something real quick.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks.
Me just also?
Yeah, sure.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Bye. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to sign something for my daughter because I am top dad. All right, so let's test this. So what should happen when we log in is we should now be taken, because we don't have multiple people in our account, we should be taken to this import screen. So let's go and log in. Log out here, log in, love the fuchsia. Just kidding, I don't love the fuchsia, but to each their own. Okay, somebody might. We're gonna log in, and yes, this is what we're looking for. No, this is not what we're looking for. Call to number count on null. Oh, because I don't have people. I have users. Let's try that. So let me go to, I'm just going to exit this. I don't need it right now. So let me go to my verification controller. Let me also open up my church model users. That's what I thought. Okay, so if church users does, okay. All right, so let's refresh. 404 not found. This is going to be interesting. I think I probably have to go to here. Let me log out again. Grab my link again. Well, that didn't work. Why did that not work? It logged me in. My church should not have more than 2 users. Church should only have 1 user. Let's look at the database and see what's going on here. So I'm going to refresh. Ooh, churches. There's 1. Yeah, there's only 1 user in the database, so how can there be more than 2 users? What is going on? Okay, if user all right, let me do this. I'm going to dd my user. User church. Let's just try that. So again, I gotta log out. Yay! Log in. Grab the link. Okay, so now we have table churches, connections, equalite, exist, true, attributes, original. Okay, let's try. Church. Users. Save this and see what we got with that. All right, so I'm gonna have to go log out again, log in again. I don't know. Okay. New link. Okay, so items 1. Okay, let's just do this. Log in again. This is going to be the most interesting thing to watch. Not 1. So what's wrong here? If user church count is greater than 2, what am I doing wrong? I cannot understand why this is working, not working. because it's less than 2. Because I'm an idiot. That's why. I did all of that because I can't remember less than. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Ryan, you're such a dope. All right, let's try this now. Oh my. Should have thought of that first. Okay, this is perfect. Onboarding import is not defined. That route is not defined. Because, yes, we do have the routes.onboarding there, but we don't have it in our main routes file. So what I need to do is I need to go to routes, actually, routes web. And we're going to do onboarding. Now, okay. 404 not found, which is what we would expect in this particular instance because, yes, we have the route now, onboarding, /import, add users controller, we have that controller, but there is no, so let's do this. Public class import class function import, and then let's return get here. And I'm gonna have to go and log in again. Log out, now log in again. I have to change that color. That pink is awful. Getting there. Okay, cool. So now what do I gotta do? Now I need to create a view for this. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do this. Return view, and we're going to call this onboarding.imports. All right, and then in my resources views, we're going to create a new folder. Onboarding /import.blade.php. Let me go into one of my things here, and let's just copy all of this into it. So we're extending that. We do not need this page title. I do not need any of this. Okay, view onboarding, onboarding import. Okay. So that is my add users controller onboarding import. Okay, so we have this. Now, here's my canvas for okay, so let's do this. H1. This app is 2 without people. H2. See? Staff is pointless without people. We're going to have to create a style sheet for this page here in a moment, but I like where this is headed. Hey, I got one person viewing this. Send me, put a comment or something. I feel kind of lonely here. If you want to, if you want to say something, I'd appreciate it. My time is almost up, but we're headed in the right direction. I know where to pick this up tomorrow. Let me just get this kind of centered or something. So I'll put a main around this. Okay, that gives me a little bit of. All right, main. I'm gonna make this a class of single. I don't even know what that means, but let me do. No, I don't want a new note. Go to my CSS components, and we're going to create one called onboarding. I guess we can call this an onboarding file here. So this will be just make sure this is working. No name file. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay, our background, and then I need to go to the app and just I always do this thing in Vim where I have to get the command key, which is the colon. I have to hit shift, but then I don't let go of the shift fast enough when I hit W, and bugs me. Okay, onboarding should be the only other thing on there. Okay, let's make sure this is saved to, and yeah. All right, so we are cooking here. So what do I want to do? I want the H1 and H2 to be centered. Let's start with that. Text align center. Yay. That looks good. It doesn't look good, but it looks okay. I guess I can also do some top padding here. So I'm going to do padding top, and let's do RS 6. It's not very much, but no, I need way more than that. I need to be at least 12. Let's add. Let's actually put this in a div. So There's a header class. Why am I doing div class header? Why don't I just do header tag? And then let me do a paragraph. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to change this to header. Nothing again. Okay. I know where I'm headed. I got to call it quits for the day. The next thing we'll do tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning off stream, is to work on getting this flat file integrated. So thank you, one watcher, for watching me. I appreciate it. And we'll keep you posted on progress.